Van Prepper here. Today I want to talk to you about a series of books that I read and I really enjoyed. It's called the Dark Tower series by Stephen King, and the first one, as you can see here, is called The Gunslinger, and it's an introduction to Roland of Gilead, Roland Deschain, who is the last gunslinger. And what you'll find out is a gunslinger is not what we think of as a gunslinger. It's kind of a mix between a medieval knight and what we would think of as a gunslinger. And he's loosely based on Clint Eastwood's character, the man with no name, that was so good in so many movies, and a poem by Robert Frost, I believe, or Robert Browning, called Child Roland, and the first line of that is, "Child Roland to the Dark Tower came." And this first book, The Dark Tower, The Gunslinger, is a little bit slow going, and it was this was my least favorite book of the bunch, but it's necessary as an introduction. It's mostly mysterious. As you read through it, you don't get a lot of answers as to what's going on or why this Roland is pursuing the man in black. But as the series goes on, you get you really, the Roland's world and characters, they intermingle with ours, and it just becomes an amazing story. This is the second book, The Drawing of the Three. Very good book. The third book is The Wastelands, prominently featuring Blaine the Mono. Excellent. This is my favorite book, Wizard and Glass, book number 4. This is Roland, largely, most of this book is Roland retelling the story when he was a young gunslinger with a couple of his friends who were apprentice gunslingers. And this was a book added on to the series after the original 7-book series. This is called The Wind Through the Keyhole, and this just came out last year. I read it. This is one of my favorite books also. This was a really good book. It's 2 stories in one book, and just an excellent book. This is the 6th book, now the 7th book in the series, The Song of Susanna, and this is the 8th book, The Dark Tower. This series was very well written. If I had a complaint, it would be with the way the series ended, but just an exceptional series, great characters. One of those series of books that when you come to the end, you're a little bit sad because you're saying goodbye to these characters pretty much for good. I was so glad they came out with The Wind Through the Keyhole to kind of go back into that world. Also, in Stephen King's collection of short stories, Everything's Eventual, there's a story called The Little Sisters of Illyria, which features a young Roland of Gilead. It's about a 60-page story in there, so if you didn't quite get enough in the series, there's a little bit more about Roland. Let me know what you guys think, if anybody's read The Dark Tower. If you haven't, I highly recommend this series. Probably, it's one of the 3 best series of books I've ever read. I'll be doing videos on the other 2 soon, and I love this set of books. I'm actually in the process of rereading right now. I'm into book number 5, The Wolves of the Calla, which is probably why that book didn't show up when I just did these. I realized that one's downstairs. I'm rereading the books and kind of taking out the more frightening or more colorful language parts of the book and telling them to my kids. We've been doing this for a couple of months as bedtime stories following the adventures of Roland and his group as they seek the Dark Tower. I'm Van Prepper. I hope you enjoyed this video. Happy shooting.